Important to get that when you're younger. And the only way you get that is by playing sports, playing multiple sports. And I'm not. It doesn't just have to be organized sports. Like you go to the park, what are the kids playing? All right, I'm jumping in, and you figure it out. You just don't see that as much these days.
Oh, back in the day when you got home, you threw your backpack, get on your bicycle, and go to a friend's place. You know,
that's right. Come back at supper.
That's right.
You know, if you stuck around the house, parents would rope you into doing chores.
Flicked off the pads, and it's singles. Oman, they're having a bit of a slow start out there after that early wicket, thanks to some probing bowling from Nepal.
Nepal is just real again. It's just mental, between the ears. Stay focused. Don't let up. You saw with their last 5 overs, all it takes is a little hot streak can get Oman right back into the game. So Nepal looking to stay focused and not give them that, or at least limit the chances of that happening.
One final delivery to come in this over, and to call one a finish strong. Just the 4 runs off of it so far. And this is slog swept, and this might be a chance, and it's a wicket. He's gone. Akibilias tried to finish the over on a high, and he just ends up finding the hands of a fielder in the deep. Just losing their skipper. Ayan Khan coming out to the middle. And where are these runs coming from, Matt? 2 wickets down. They need a partnership. They need to steady the ship a little bit here, Oman. Yes, they need a lot of runs, but you can't get them if you've got no wickets in hand.
That's right.
Just exactly what a big total does to you when you're chasing. You've got scoreboard pressure from the time that you come out.
So many forces working against Oman right now.
We spoke about being multi-sport athletes at a young age, or just going out and playing whatever you can find. And it's so important. In fact, we're starting to see kids specialize way too early these days as well, especially in cricket. Just picking up the sport and sticking to just the one sport way too early. You want to try and be as multifaceted, play different sports. You never know what sort of skill sets you might bring into a different sport.
I agree. Especially when you're young, you know. It's at a certain point after this ball right here. Oh, swing and a miss. In 8th grade, my soccer team went 0-18.
Wow.
We lost one game 16-0 in soccer. And it was at that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick to basketball. It became pretty obvious.
You couldn't have been that bad.
Oh, we were horrible. Also, I was on the B2 team, so it was like an A team, which was like the best kids. It was like B1, B2, B3, because they didn't want the kids to feel bad if you were on like the D team.
So they just numbered the Bs.
So I was on the B2 team, which is essentially the C team. You know, the writing was on the wall.
Well, clearly you made the right choice. Basketball working out for you. Similar to you know, working on dribbling skills in your parents' basement. A lot of kids who play cricket, they actually put a ball in a sock and they hang it off the ceiling in the basement. They just keep batting away at it.
Yep, having the right mix of in-game competition and skill-specific drills is so important. Can't be all or one or the other. You got to do both. And that comes with proper coaching. You know, you talk about growing the game. Part of growing the game is making sure there's a network of coaches coaching all these kids that love the game, cricket, the right way to do things. Perfect practice. Good skills, good habits.
Discipline.
Yep, discipline. runs, you know, you can afford that in this match at least. What you don't want is Oman start stringing some together and getting momentum and confidence, which is exactly what Nepal did in those last few overs. Back on track.
Pegging away with wickets at the right time makes a big difference. Exactly what we saw Canada do yesterday against Nepal. It was a small total that Nepal were chasing, 124 runs. Should have been a cakewalk. But unfortunately, between decent bowling and some poor shot selection, they just couldn't quite cross that line yesterday.
I'd say better than decent bowling, and granted, I'm no expert on it, but every single bowler for Canada seemed to step up in big moments.
We're using his feet down the track. And the accuracy continues from the fielding. Nepal's so good in the field. They're so quick.
They've had great positioning, too. Their strategy has been on point through these first 3+ overs. Nothing's really got
sensitive parts, your thighs, you know?
Yep. Nice little Charlie horse.
And the women don't really have to worry too much about the straighter ones.
Yep.
But I've seen guys go down pretty quick when it's in the crown jewel area. Just a bunch of weaklings.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Just thinking about that is making me cringe.
It does look pretty painful. I'm not really sure what the feeling's like, but all I've got to say is toughen up, boys.
Walk it off.
Walk it off. Slower ball. Good deceiving ball here from Dekal.
That was a change-up.
Took the pace right off. Just a bit down leg. I wanted to try and get it a little bit straighter.
Now, when he pitches it, does the person behind the wicket know what's coming?
Which is why when you're keeping in a team setting that's new, it's very tricky. Good quiet over here from Dekal, just one coming off of it. 4 overs gone, 18 for 2. Just 18 runs coming off the first 4 overs of this power play. They've really not been able to take advantage of the 2 fielders in the deep. Everyone's inside the circle, but the bowling has been top-notch here. Different Nepal showing up to the T20 series as we see Dipender Singh Airy coming into the attack. So effective with the ball yesterday against Canada.
We'll get one more match with Nepal and Canada, correct?
That's right. One
Looking
more.
forward to that one.
Oh, he's bowled him.
Got
First
him.
ball into the attack. Dipender Singh Airy has picked up the 3rd wicket of Oman.
Nepal on fire.
Such an important part of this Nepali side. He brings in. I know the Nepalese fans are loving you. They're loving you. Just you saying that is a big deal. Well, they really need this win, especially after all the flooding that's happening back home. They just need some positivity, don't they? Something to look forward to, something to celebrate.
Yeah, it's amazing how sport can have that effect on the people.
A bit slower this time. Back of the length as Zishan Maksud comes out to the middle. All kinds of troubles here for Oman.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the required run rate. My goodness.
Well over 10 now,
Yes.
isn't it? It doesn't get any easier as the dot balls continue to pile on. And Oman are going to have to be very careful here because they've lost 3 wickets. They do need runs, they desperately need runs, but they still want to try and keep that strike rotation happening. At the moment, they're just completely bogged down. It's dot after dot after dot.
Yep. And you see the speed at the frequency. These bowls are coming in.
Going for the sweep twice now, Zishan Maksud, and nowhere close to the ball.
It's like the world's quickest over.
5 overs gone. Oman 18 for 3.
As we have a shuffle in the commentary box, a bit of fun farewell for the moment to Matt Bonner and Manali Patel. Andrew Leonard here with you again, and I've got Arslan Kadir joining me. Arslan, Oman have issues at the moment, don't they? They really do. They were in impeccable form on home soil during that ACC premiere, but since the change of captain, things haven't gone their way.
Definitely not. And I think it is a little bit of that home field advantage here, but neither of these teams have home field advantage, do they? And they just haven't seemed to be able to put it together under the new captain, Akabilias.
But in a similar way to Nepal, it's the bat that they're struggling with. I know at the tail end they got torn apart by a wonderful coach in Jai innings, but they just look like they've no confidence with the bat at all.
No confidence with the bat. And we saw Jatinder Singh come back into the squad for the ODIs, not in this team, and just there's a lot of class in their batting lineup. You look at the likes of Kashyap Prajapati, Akabilias himself, the captain, somebody they rely heavily on. The man in the middle now, the ex-captain, Zishan Maksud. There's plenty of skill and plenty of ability. They just have been so short of runs, all of them.
Some aggression from Maksud, that's better. He needed to get going, none off 5, and uses his feet to get some momentum into the stroke, and he will get 4.
Yeah, Nasif Sheikh, when Zishan Maksud came on strike there, he went back. He's been predominantly up to the stumps. He's asking for the helmet to be brought on again. Zishan Maksud, Rajan Dekal, he's not going to overpower you with pace, is he? Just medium pace. And he
So
can't.
net run rate could well be important. You certainly don't want to take on a single to Dipender Singh Airi. How impressed were you with his first over there? He just looks like the kind of player you'd
We
want
talk a
to.
lot about his fielding, and it's remarkable. So all three facets, especially in this format, how important is it? You have to be. He's always in the game. He's always doing something in the game. I think he'd been disappointed coming in all the way down the order at 8, but he's always involved, isn't he, Lenny?
I was surprised he was left out for the ODIs. I thought that it was a strange decision. I know he hasn't been making runs in ODI cricket. I get that, but I don't think you look at his numbers with regards to his output that he delivers to a team. He's not that kind of player. Even if he's not making runs, look at the way he bowls, look at the way he fields. You still want him in your 11. I'd have him in any 11.
It's a big claim, Lenny, and I'm sure there's not a lot of people that would disagree with you. Matt Bonner earlier, when he was on air with you, was talking about just having somebody that impact and lift the team. Gulshan Jha did it with a bat, but Dipender Singh Airi, because he's just always involved, somehow the ball's always in his hands.
A little cutter. Grijan Dakal offers an awful lot in this format, and he's got a good game plan. Left arm seamers continue to be in vogue. That power play has belonged heavily to Nepal. They're right on top. It's 25 for 3. Overs keep things very tight. Look at those figures. Wicket maiden to start with, 1 for none. And the cleverness of his bowling, he's obviously short in stature, isn't he, Dipender Singh Airi? But it's the variety of trajectories and angles that he delivers with. So you might think of an off-spinner to a right-hander being a bad matchup, but I think in Airi's case that isn't necessarily true.
Yeah, it reminds you a little bit of Kedar Jadhav, former Indian all-rounder as well. He's not the tallest man in the world. He's no Kalimullah or Matt Bonner or Lambu Dive. So I apologize for using that name. Lambu Dive, we'll call him from now on forward. But again, just so wise cricketer as well. Just changes of pace, changes angles.
Oh, this is gone for all money. Surely the finger's got to go up. No! Now, you're going to have to tell me what this is missing, because Asif Sheikh can't believe it, and nor can Dipender Singh Airi.
Pad, and then onto the front pad.
Well, the funny thing is, for Nepal, it might not be the worst result, because Airi is all over Zishan Maksud here. We'll get one more look, waiting for the finger to go up. But Airi has been, well, maybe robbed of a second wicket of the day.
Yeah, certainly. The celeb appeal, is that as we call it, isn't it? It's absolutely plumbing. You got to say, I think you're right. It is what threw him off. That back foot, it hit the back pad and then onto the front pad, almost lodged between the two.
It's almost too good to be true. End of the 7th over, just 2 runs from it, but not the second wicket that Dipender Singh Airi wanted. Slog sweep, man out there. And who else would it be but Dipendra Singh Airi? He's never dropping that. And the Nepal fans who've travelled in good numbers up here to King City again, they are loving every second of today. It's the perfect day.
We've got to check his pockets, Lenny. There's got to be a magnet somewhere in there because the ball just seems to always find him. And look at those fans. They're happy. They're trying to find some shade, but they'll be a little bit cooler now with this wicket. Have a look at this.
Well, Bertel's a different kind of leg spinner. He's sort of a bit slower through the air, and you can see what Maksud's trying to do, but now, well, that is lining up to be a cracker. And it could well decide the trophy. Big surprise for me, Bertel not bowling a couple of days ago is helping the spinners as it's, we're getting later into the series. The pitches are starting to get quite a lot of traffic on top of them. And with all the good spin options they have, they should be bowling more spin, shouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Roy Patel, he's not short of options, is he? There's plenty of all-rounders in this camp. Especially Macy Gulshan Jha, just the day he had. You want to keep him going. You want to keep him involved in this game because he can't do nothing wrong at this point between him and Dipendra Singh Airi. But how happy will the Nepali camp be? Monty Desai, the team's starting to put it together. This game is an indication. They wouldn't have been happy yesterday. Going home back in a team bus, they wouldn't have been happy. They had a game that they should have won, and they handed it back to Canada. Here and now, this is a performance where they're sort of putting it all together.
There's a great pragmatism from Monty Desai, that there really is, and it's not easy when you're in Nepal because they have a fanaticism and a fan support that no other associate does. That's a drag down, but there is a man out there who's nearly going to get there. Great effort from Kushal Malla. He got the dive in, stuck the body on the line, nearly saved 4, but he will concede a first boundary. That goes to Shoaib Khan.
You get that anywhere near the middle of the bat, Lenny, but it's good enough to get for 4, and a brilliant effort. Dragged down, it had to go. Try to go over the top, just didn't get anywhere near it. Kushal Malla, what a brilliant effort that is.
Oh, what a beautiful leg break to finish the over. Was this an edge? I think Kushal Bertel.
Well, he's not going to want to be outdone by Kushal Bertel, is he? And Sandeep Lamichhani, the senior leg spinner in the squad. I saw Sandeep spend a lot of time with the bat pre-game, Lenny. I think he fancied a hit today. It wasn't to be, thanks to Gulshan Jha and Dipendra Singh Airi.
He really enjoys his batting. I think he very much fancies himself as a lower order hitter. And what I would love to see him do is what he's just done there, which is to be completely patient and to bowl maybe 20 leg breaks out on that exact line. Occasional googly. Don't go hunting. But he's gone hunting, and oh my, it's a drop. We've spent the whole day.
Lost for words. Dipendra Singh Airi put down what for him is an absolute sitter. But that pace along the ground, he just got there too quickly. Not something you'll see too often, that's for sure.
But again, I'm not sure the line is right. Okay, he could have ended up with a wicket, but it was just a drag down googly. And he sprinted in so quickly, he's got there too quickly. Should have swallowed it up, but of all people, Dipendra Singh Airi has grasped a pretty easy chance. That's where you want him to bowl. 4th, 5th stump line, drifting in leg break, turning away, unplayable. The difficult thing here for Khalid Kale and Shoaib Khan is they may be facing 2 leg spinners, but they're so different. Lamichhani bowls flat, really drifting leg breaks that spin sharply away from the surface, and then Bertel, they're part-time leg breaks, but they're very handy part-time leg breaks. He can turn it significantly, but it's much slower, and it's probably an 8 to 10 mile an hour difference through the air. As a consequence, difficult to get your timing right. That's a good stroke. Inside out over extra, bit too full, finds the gap and gets 4.
And the important man there now, Shoaib Khan for Oman. Just again, that pace just allowed him to get that one over the top. Didn't quite come, but did a really good job, Shoaib Khan, on that occasion to wait for it. Just had to beat that one man, that cover. And they need to find something here, do Oman.
This time a little flatter, and great work from Asif Sheikh. Gets across to save the single. Yeah, I think that Shoaib Khan is someone that they've identified as being one that they can bat up the order, who might be able to score a little more quickly. His career numbers in T20 cricket aren't great, just 150 to questions that they're being asked more and more regularly.
You'd have to say These two squads completely on the opposite ends. Nepal, a lot of quality young cricketers coming through the ranks. Yes, they haven't won a game in a long time, but you can just see.
He takes on long on, gets a good piece of it. I think he's going to get